Hi, everybody. Welcome to the Bridgewater Conservation Commission. The meeting, what is the date today?
February
It is
13th.
February 13th, yes, 2025. The time's 5:30. We do have a quorum, so we can begin the meeting. And for the record, the members and staff present, is Harry on?
I don't see Harry.
Okay, we do have, right now, we have Eileen Prisco, Mark Peterson, myself, Wendy Smith, and Caitlin Putt, the conservation agent. I'll now read the governor's order for online meetings into the record. Disclosure pursuant to section 20 of the chapter 20 of the Acts of 2021, an act relative to extending certain COVID-19 measures adopted during the state of emergency. This meeting of the Conservation Commission for the town of Bridgewater will be hybrid and accessible to the public through remote participation to the greatest extent possible. There will be no public attendance permitted. Citizens who wish to tune into the meeting may do so via Zoom. The link and phone number are always located on the agenda on bridgewaterma.org. We have call to order, and then we have public hearings. We have old business, notice of intent for 1968 South Street. We have one new business and notice of intent for Forest Street. We have some conservation and commission business, administrative items. We have two certificates of compliance. One is for 36 Bramblewood Street. The other is for 53 Morris Street. We have Lakeshore cease and desist enforcement order update, 1157 Pleasant Street cease and desist update, 1453 Plymouth Street discussion, 0 Bedford enforcement order update, open meeting law complaint discussion, 0 Lakeshore Center on-site meeting with Mass DEP. That was today at 10 o'clock. And then we have minutes to approve and adjournment. So with that, first up, we have old business. We have notice of intent, 1968 South Street, map 125, lot 17. The applicant representative is Mark McLeod, JK Holmgren Engineering LLC, and the DP file is SE 116 1560. I can let the applicant share. Marilyn is not on the meeting tonight, and I know that she was out there when they had set up a time. I believe that whoever was supposed to meet out there at 3 did not show up, so they looked around a little bit more. The conditions are not good to be able to really get a good feel on the line and the flags and what's what.
Sure.
And those flags some flags are gonna need to be moved.
Yeah, if I may, Madam Chair, Scott Farrier, Holmgren Engineering, good evening.
Good evening.
Prior to our last meeting on January 23rd, there was some concerns that the commission members brought up, and the main concern was that they couldn't read the flag numbers. And in fact, there were no numbers on the flags. And we've been out there and have sent pictures to the office. Every single flag has a number on it. So we have that, but after the 23rd, we've been waiting to meet with the commission members out there for a site visit. And we couldn't get one scheduled until Monday when there was snow on the ground. So it's, honestly, we filed back in November. We've had plenty of time. The line was previously approved, and if you'd like, I can share the plan again from what I showed at the last meeting, but the line was previously approved in an order of conditions that you folks issued in July of 2020. The line that I have currently that Brad Holmes from ECR flagged is, in most instances, more conservative than the previous line that you folks had already approved. So we have 2 professional wetland scientists that have gone out there and delineated a line, one of which you folks approved. To hold this project up for 3 months and keep waiting now, if we schedule another site visit and it snows, we're stuck again. And I know there's some things out of our control, and certainly the weather is one of them, but we've had ample time to go out there. At our last meeting, again on the 23rd, we spoke about it, and I said, if you're looking to move a couple flags, just tell me now which flags you want to move, and we'll just concede it, because it doesn't matter. The only work we have in the buffer zone is a detention basin. that's 100 feet away from the houses, so we can move all that. So if you wanted to move a couple of flags, it really doesn't impact the project. The project is really a small project. Again, it was approved in 2020. It's a roadway construction that's entirely out of the buffer zone, 2 home constructions that are gonna be out of the buffer zone, and a detention basin that falls in the buffer zone. It's the exact same thing as was previously approved. And in fact, if currently, we could go back to that approval based on the governor's ruling that she passed back in November that gives us a 2-year extension on those permits. So we could just say, forget about this plan and we'll go with the last one and have a 2-year extension and we would be okay with that. But we went through the process of drawing up new plans and filing before the governor's ruling came through. So we'd like to follow that through, but it's such a small project and it should be so easy and it just can't take this long. And so if we leave here tonight, we're not gonna have a scheduled site visit because we've got to check with everybody. And it just hasn't worked. The one time that the commission went out there, they couldn't find the flags with the flag number. So it's really frustrating, Madam Chair. I'm sure it's frustrating for the commission as well, but
Yeah.
I just don't think it's entirely fair to just keep continuing it now until there's snow no longer on the ground. It's gonna snow again Saturday.
Right.
So
I hear your frustration. And I am never able to make these things when they're during the day because I'm at work and I can't, but
I understand. And we certainly can't do it at night. So
yeah.
unless
Nope.
we did it, we could certainly do it on a Saturday, but the whole trying to schedule it, I've been in touch with Caitlin and we've been trying, but we just couldn't get a date. And then, as I said, last Friday, it was finally said that we could meet on Monday. And of course, it snowed Saturday. So I totally get that it's hard to delineate and to approve wetlands when you can't see the ground cover. But again, it's such a small project and it shouldn't take this long to get this project approved. It really shouldn't. And that's part of the reason why the governor passed that ruling, was just for these projects to drag on. It's really not a fair process. So
Yeah.
obviously I'm up to, up to the board's discretion on this. And if we need to
Right, I
schedule I'd really like to at least leave tonight with a scheduled site visit as opposed to leaving it up in the air and hoping and wishing. At least if we had a scheduled one, at least it's something to shoot for. And if you can make it, you can make it. And if you can't, at least it's been scheduled. But as I said, I've really got to have a heart-to-heart with my client and see if it's even worth it. If he just feels like he's better off just going with the old plan that was approved under the 2-year extension that we just came down. So as always, we're up to your discretion, Madam Chair and the commission.
Okay. All right. Thank you, Mr. Holmgren. Caitlin, can you just make sure everybody's muted? Because I don't
Yeah,
know,
I
people
keep muting people.
popping in.
Yeah.
Do you wanna voice in on this before I ask the commission? My question is, should he share his screen and bring these up again? so that
Yeah,
we can
Scott, why
see it?
don't I give you access to do that?
Thank you.
And I can kind of give my take on this. All right,
Sure.
you should be able to share now.
All right. So this plan that I'm sharing, the blue line with a KT reference is from Ken Thompson's flags. That's the line that was approved in 2020. And my current line from Brad Holmes is the green line with A numbers on it. So it's in most cases, Brad's a little bit upland from Ken. I mean, in this case, you can see he's not, but the buffer zone over here were much more conservative than Ken's was. I think at the last meeting we had talked about, I believe it was I think it was flag number 30 and 31 that we had issues with. And I had said then, if we just draw a straight line from A29 to A32, it doesn't really impact the buffer zone because that's the furthest most point and that's the furthest most point. So connecting the line, none of this makes a huge difference in the construction of the project. Not saying that the wetlands certainly aren't important and shouldn't be accurate, but it's just not going to make a huge difference in the project. It's why we keep saying, if you just tell us what you want to move, give us a number, we'll move it.
Where is the basin supposed to be?
So the basin is up in this location here, out of the flood zone and out of your 25-foot buffer zone.
Okay, so that's pretty far off from the,
And
flood
again,
zone.
if we make that, you know, if we made that concession on those flags, even without having to visit them,
Mm,
it wouldn't affect the buffer zone in the location of the basin.
mm-hmm. Um, okay. Caitlin, do you want to share what you were gonna?
Yeah, so at the last meeting, I hear what Scott's saying, and I think it makes sense, with what he just said, A30 and A31, kind of pull that up so it's in line with A32 and A29. And then I believe, Scott, we also talked about even pulling,
33.
yeah, the ones that were behind the blue line,
Yep.
which, yeah, makes sense. You guys have leeway. And I feel like, with it just being a drainage basin, we're not building near the line. They have some leeway to move this back. I think it makes sense, if the commission is comfortable with that line being moved with what was discussed in the last meeting, approve contingent upon, us getting a new plan with that line adjusted as we see fit, with the A30 and A31 being in line with A32 and A29. And the parts of the green line going above the blue line, I think that makes sense. And, we can condition that so that the commission is comfortable with the line. So I don't know if any members have any other thoughts on that.
Scott, can you move it over a little bit to the right of lot 104, so we can see that line that's up, that's
Sure,
coming up
certainly.
the way,
So again, in this location, we're pretty much,
pretty much on
yeah,
the old
it's kind
one.
of following, if you look, it's kind of following that 18 contour, the 17 contour. And then around here, we're more conservative again than the previous line, all the way through the whole rest of the line. Although in this area, he's not, and I can certainly bump that area out and get back to Ken's old line, with these two flags here, 5 and 6, we can push those forward.
And no actual building is going
Right.
out in that area, correct?
We don't anticipate it, and we've got notes on the plan that if any of this doesn't approve the home construction. If
Right.
home construction falls in the buffer zone, we'll have a separate filing. At this time, they're not figuring on building a big house, but they could hit the lottery and that could change.
Mm-hmm.
But again, anything that falls in the buffer zone during the building permit process, we would certainly come back before you folks for individual filings.
Right, okay. All right, so, I mean, I get it. I need to get feedback, so, Eileen, I know that you know a little bit on Marilyn's thoughts on this. Can you
Yeah,
just share what you think about if they pulled the green out on the other side of the blue in those couple of spots? And like, do you think that would, I mean, the catch basin, where the catch basin is gonna be, it's outside, it's like in the 50 to 100, right? Yeah.
I know she was very uncomfortable with the fact that someone didn't show up and that she wasn't comfortable with the lines. And she believes that the original line may have had a problem that wasn't discovered till recently. So I don't feel comfortable just going, I mean, why can't we just schedule, like he said, at least if we schedule a site walk today, then we can have him ready for the next meeting, which is 2 weeks.
The only problem with, yeah.
Is the weather.
Yeah, again, it's. I don't want to repeat myself, so it's,
You approved the first one.
Somebody approved the line, I wasn't there for that.
I don't remember that.
Yeah.
I
But
don't- If I was on
Feeling-
and
yeah,
when that
Eve
was.
Sobel. I think that was her big concern.
yeah, I mean, that previous approval, whether somebody disagrees with it or not, it still holds something. It's still an approved wetlands line that's validated by
I-
your order of conditions.
I understand that.
Hmm.
for my thoughts.
Who else? Mark, are you on? Do you have any thoughts on this?
I'd like to see it, but I can't vote on this because I wasn't here for the testimony and evidence of the previous meeting. So
Okay, I mean, like, I don't know, I mean, we could schedule, but, again, I wish that Marilyn was on, but just things happen and she can't be, but,
Mhm.
I mean, personally, I would be okay with pulling everything outside on the upper side of the blue line just to make it so that it was those were the flags that we were gonna go with, all the way around and over in that upper corner where like A6, A5, pulling those out, yep.
Yep.
At least to like where the blue lines are, which was Ken's original. I mean, I would be fine with that, but I'm only one person and we're missing Harry, I think, and Marilyn's not here.
can we get a third party peer review?
Oh,
I don't know if we really like,
For a lot, what? I don't think that's necessary.
yeah, I don't think we have to do that with this because it's really all they're talking about is the catch basin, which is gonna be the closest to the line. And, probably no building maybe, but
I mean-
we're just dealing with the line right
Yeah.
now.
I mean,
Yeah, I think a third party would, sorry, Scott, I didn't mean to cut you off.
Caitlin, I'm sorry, I'm talking a lot, so.
No, no worries.
Again, the botanists that go out there, they're professionals. They don't just do this on the weekend and they kind of wing it. And I mean, they're licensed professionals.
Yeah.
To kind of dismiss two professionals' work and just say, yeah, it's not valid. I'd rather go out and hire a third. I mean, if we don't like the third, do we get a fourth? I mean, at some point, we've got to trust people. And again, it's to go back to what you're saying, Madam Chair. I mean, we're not asking for a lot here. It's a small project. It's really unfortunate that we can't accept what professionals who are licensed and who are held to a certain responsibility to do
Standard,
their work
yep.
correctly. There's two of them, totally independent, a couple of years apart, that have come up with essentially the same line. It's just really not fair just to say, I don't really trust what they've done. Let's get somebody else to go look. I mean, I know that's the process, and you folks are certainly within your rights to have outside consultants hire it to review it, but the people that are hired to do these jobs all have licenses and stamps and insurance, and everybody's responsible. I'm liable for it. The botanist is liable for it. Nobody else is liable for these jobs. We have a lot on the line where we can't just make this stuff up and hope that we get away with it.
And so am I.
Mm.
So am I responsible?
Wait a minute, somebody's speaking and they have not identified themselves.
Identified, Taylor, you got a name and address, please.
Mark McLeod, the owner.
Oh, okay.
So
Address.
I'm a little confused too. You have two wetland lines, two different botanists. One's a little high, one's a little bit low. What is the problem? What is it? You have two wetland lines, and one's a little this way, one's a little bit that way. You asked to move it 20 feet, so move it 20 feet. It don't affect nothing. I don't know what the problem is. You have all these meetings and people are not there, and then we go to another one. It's not right. We've been doing it since November. Now it's snowing out. We're supposed to get 8 to 10 inches of snow on Saturday. And these are my kids' houses, not mine. I'm not building them to sell them. I did everything right. I do this for a living, this erosion control. I'm not looking, you're 325 feet away from the river. 325. You want another 20. Now you're 345. How much?
Yeah, we're looking at the wetland line as far as the numbers that you're putting out right now. It's not the river that we're concerned about. We know that we're far enough away from that, but
Yeah, but what is your question? That the pond's wrong? Is your question that the flags are wrong?
That,
Just the overlap with some of them that could be pulled out, which I kind of feel could be pulled out to the blue. Just so that they're not so far in, but
So Scott, does that affect anything?
No,
So why don't we put them where you want them? And move on.
okay, I don't really know like where to go from here. I mean, personally,
since
and Eileen
November.
and excuse me, please don't talk over me. It takes me a lot to like wrap my head around what's happening. So Eileen and Mark, I don't know how you feel, like, can we, and Caitlin, like, can we ask Scott to move the green lines out so that we can see that they've been done and they would need to be reflagged, right? They'd need to be pulled back out. And then, I don't know, does there need to be a check that those have been done, like down on the property, and then to move forward, like, I'm not exactly sure.
Chair, if I may.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm of the opinion, they're able to pull these flags up, as we discussed in the last meeting. If you do decide to approve, why not, do orders of conditions contingent upon, the resubmittal of a plan that shows the flags have been moved up, and, if that also, requires a site visit to go out to check that, it was done, we could put that in there too.
Mhm.
And,
I mean, the flags it has to be moved on the plan, but they also have to be moved down at the
physically
site.
in
right,
the
so that's
field.
why I'm saying contingent on,
Yep.
us getting a new plan and then having the opportunity to go back to the property, see that it's moved,
before
could-
we issue,
what's
I'm
that,
sorry?
Irene?
before we issue,
I still didn't understand what you said.
before we issue the order of conditions.
Well, I'm saying, can we put that in our orders,
Well, then we'd be issuing it without the plan.
Right,
Plan.
yeah, if, just from dealing with other cities and towns every night, typically, the way it would be done, you would vote tonight to approve it conditionally upon receiving an updated plan and Caitlin reviewing it in the field. The
Right.
order of conditions is signed and Caitlin doesn't release it until she is satisfied as your agent. That just saves us from having to come to another meeting.
That, if you want to do that, just hold it until you check it. As long as you issue after you've been there and you've physically seen it, I'm fine with that.
right, yeah, I think, that's kind of the way to go, because,
Mhm.
Fine.
what do you think, Wendy?
Yeah, that sounds right.
Scott, are you happy with that?
I'm thrilled with that, Mark.
Okay.
Okay, so we have enough information that we can close the hearing?
I can't vote on this matter, just to let you know.
No,
I wasn't
So-
here. So I mean, you don't,
Do we not have a quorum?
you don't have a quorum for this one.
Is Harry not on?
we don't have a quorum. We have a quorum.
I'm
It's
not, I don't count for the quorum on
If
this
he
one.
can't vote on it,
yeah, but we've done that before. It's just the majority.
Well, you broke the law.
What?
no, 2 out of 3 people is
Yeah,
That's
a quorum.
we've done it before. What
I
about
think we have.
The quorum would be 2. I wouldn't be counting towards the quorum on this.
No, I know
Okay,
that.
so Eileen votes and I vote.
That would be 2 to none, and I don't, that's not a quorum.
You need a majority of the board. You've got a 5-member board. You need 3 people present. You need 3 people to vote. Not just 3 people present. You need 3 votes.
And I can't vote, so.
Okay, well,
All we need is 2 out of 3, but if Mr. Peterson can't vote, then we've only got 2 out of 2 and 2 is not a quorum.
I guess that takes care of that.
Well, so we can't even vote on a continuance?
Well, we can request one.
Yeah,
right, so how about we now that we have this plan, since we can't vote, why don't we have, you know, what we discussed, Scott will send us a new plan. And, you know, I can work with the commission to get out there before the next meeting, which is February 27th.
Yeah, when Scott is able
Um,
to do the flags, he can let you know and then you
Yeah.
guys can go out.
Okay,
So then the next meeting, once members who can vote are present, we can then
Listen,
go forward with.
what happened?
I didn't hear you. Eileen, did you say something?
I said Harry was supposed to be here. I'm not sure.
Right. I'm not seeing him in the list of people. So I'm not sure what happened with that.
I think
Okay,
that's the best
so-
we can do.
Okay,
I can get you a revised plan to move the flags first thing Tuesday morning, Caitlin, and I'll get in touch with you to make sure you see the plans and that you know I've done it.
Okay. Yeah,
And
that
that'll
sounds
give us
good.
Plenty of lead time for the 27th.
Gotcha.
okay. So then we will continue it until February 27th,
Okay.
Please.
correct? It's so weird to like, we don't vote. I'm at a loss. Sorry.
Yeah, I'm not sure that requires a vote since we, you know,
Okay.
it wouldn't be a majority vote anyway, since Mark
All
can't.
right, so Scott, I think you're good with the numbers, just to clarify it. So if I
Yes,
look
ma'am.
at the left, A33 is coming out
Yep,
in line with A34 and 32.
correct.
What did
then
we say?
30,
30,
31.
31
Yep,
will come up and be in
Mhm.
line with 29 and 32.
correct.
And then over here, the A5, 6,
Yep. Get pulled
7,
up.
you know,
Yeah.
whatever, just pull them out so that they're in line with maybe A4 because that will be along the whole line there. The
Agreed.
blue line. Yeah, yeah.
Yep.
A5,
Gotcha.
A6, A7 is pretty close, but you could pull it up a little bit, I
Yep.
guess.
We're on the same page. I understand, Madam Chair.
Okay. All right, that sounds good.
Okay,
So that's the plan.
thank you, folks. Have a good evening.
All right, thank you so much.
Thank
Good
you.
night.
Night.
Thank you.
All right, you're welcome, Mark. Okay, so we're probably just gonna, next up, we have Forest Street. We're not gonna be able to vote on anything. Well, no, we could, right, with this one? Because it's Mark, it's a new business. Notice of intent, Forest Street, map 99, lots 24, 25, and 74. The applicant representative is David and Mary Weber, MBL Land Development and Permitting Corp. The DEP file number is SC 116-1561. So is someone on for the Webers or MBL Land Development?
Yes, Madam Chair, Brian Dunn with MBL. I'm the principal of the firm.
Thank you.
And also Tracy Duart is my director of engineering. She is also on the call.
Okay,
She'll be sharing the slideshow presentation with the plans.
okay, great, thank you.
Tracy, I just gave you permission to share, so you should be all set.
Thank you.
So the first, if I may, Madam Chair, members of the
Sure.
commission, for the record, Brian Dunn with MBL Land Development and Permitting with offices at 5 Bristol Drive in southeastern Massachusetts on behalf of David and Mary Weber. They are the applicant and owner. You have a notice of intent in front of you for the proposed construction of a single-family home. You can see the project team. Attorney Brianna Carrera is the attorney for the project. The owners are David and Mary Weber, and MBL is the land surveyor and engineer of record. Next slide. Thank you. So just to give you a little bit of history about the project. So it's assessors map 99, and there's 3 lots, lots 24, 25, and 74. So lot 24 is 554 Forest Street. That's where the existing home and pool are located. Lot 25 is the vacant lot. If you're facing the house from the road, it's the lot to the left. And lot 74 is the landlocked parcel behind the two lots.
Okay.
So our project really is the proposed construction of the single-family home, the driveway, the utilities, the septic system, and the grading associated with lot 25. Like I said, there's also an existing home on the lot 24, 554 Forest Street. And for the commission's knowledge and record, this project was previously permitted back in the 90s. And an order of conditions was issued for a single-family dwelling on lot 25 with a proposed septic system and grading and alteration of the wetlands in that area of lot 25. That file number is DEP 116301. So for this project, we need a few permits. So we wanted to start with the Conservation Commission first before we went through all of the other permits that are required. So we do need to create a Form A subdivision to merge the three lots into a new configuration, which would make the lots into two different lots and make those two lots more conforming in area per the zoning regulations. We will need a ZBA variance on lot area and frontage, which was one of the variances that was previously granted. And for your order of conditions or the notice of intent that we've submitted to you, there's work in the 100-foot buffer zone. We are going to be disturbing within the 25-foot buffer zone, and the proposed building will be within the 50-foot buffer zone. So that's really on the local regulations that we will need some waivers from on that, like the other order of conditions that was issued. And then after that, we will finalize our septic system and submit it to the Board of Health for review and approval. The wetlands were delineated by Brad Holmes from Environmental Consulting back in September of 24. And the site is located within the Aquifer Protection District. The site is not located in an ACEC, and it is not in an estimated or priority habitat area. Next slide. Thank you. So we did a full on-the-ground field survey, and you can see the three lots highlighted in green. And you can see the wetland line with the flags that we had delineated by Brad in his office. And we've located them with an on-the-ground field survey. We've done all the existing conditions survey, topography, field location of the home, the pool, and the sheds that are on these three lots. You can see how lot 24 and lot 25 have frontage on Forest Street, and lot 74, the triangle piece to the back of 554, is the part that is landlocked. Next. This is the proposed design, which is very similar to the other design that was previously approved, with a single-family home, the proposed septic system being proposed outside of the 50-foot buffer zone. There is some grading and alteration of the wetlands. You can see that in the light blue area that's hatched. And then you can see the proposed wetland replication plan or area that we've proposed, and the new lot line that is going to be created with the Form A plan between lot 24 and lot 25, combining some of the area of 74 to each one of the lot 24 and lot 25. Next one.
Can I just ask you on that?
Yes, ma'am.
The blue line, is that the flags? Are those flags?
Yeah, the dark blue line is the wetland flag. You can see it a little bit clearer on this view, Madam Chair.
Mhm.
So the dark blue line is the wetland line, and the light, aqua hatch is really where the wetland replication is, alteration, I'm sorry. The wetland replication is further down. You can see the little bushes,
Bushes, yeah.
green bushes outside of the blue line. So
Okay.
we'll kind of show you on one of the other slides, the comparison of the older order of conditions that were plan that was issued and the order that was issued along with that plan. So you can see on this one with the 50-foot buffer zone, the orange,
Mhm.
the septic system would be outside of the 50-foot buffer zone, but the building itself would be within the 25-foot area of the wetland area, along with the alteration of the wetlands. Can I go to the next one?
Mm.
So this is really the comparison plan. So you can see the plan to the left. I know it's upside down, but we wanted to show it to you in the same type of alignment. So Forest Street on both of these is on the top of the plan, and the septic system on the hand side of the plan, you can see 50 foot away from the wetlands. You can see that there was a proposed alteration of that wetland area, and then the wetland replication was supposed to be on the other lot because they were in common ownership. So we're in a sense doing the same thing, but in a different way, so that we get some more area for lot 24 and lot 25, and gain access and utilize some of that property on the landlocked land that they own of lot 74. So you can see that there's, it's very similar in nature, what we're proposing now to what was originally approved by the Conservation Commission as well as the zoning board. But the thing is that the applicant at the time, never acted upon the waiver and waivers and the ZBA permit that was issued to construct this home. So
And that was in 1990? I'm sorry.
so the original order of conditions was in 1993, and the ZBA was in 1995, if I'm correct on the dates.
Okay.
So, and the reason why these things were granted is because the lot's a buildable lot. It pre-existed zoning. So this lot was originally created, I think it was in 1962 with original subdivision of Forest Street. So that was one of the reasons, if I remember, that the zoning board went along with the, granting the waiver on frontage and lot area.
Mhm.
So as you can see, we're still doing the same type of proposed development of a single family home, septic system outside of the 50-foot buffer zone. Yes, we are altering, some of those buffer zones, the 50-foot buffer zone and the 25-foot no touch buffer zone. But we're also providing a wetland replication plan. So with that, if you have any questions, I'd be more than happy to answer them. Sorry. Yeah,
Okay.
we can actually show you the Form A plan next, so you can get a little bit of an understanding of how the full lots are carved out.
Okay.
So this is the Form A plan that we propose. So you can see the lot lines in green again. And you can see where the two lots are really taking about half of that triangle in the back, which is lot 74, and that area being combined with lot 24, and some area being combined with lot 25. And that gets us up to about 0.8 acres of land for each lot. So it pushes the lots towards being more conforming in the lot area per the zoning regulations. And you can see on this Form A plan, we do have the flood zone on it, but we're not in the flood zone. Yeah, then we'll go to the variance plan. So this is really the proposed variance plan that, we would eventually show to the zoning board of appeals. a little bit clearer on the alteration areas and the wetland replication areas. So the dark blue line is the existing wetland line that was delineated. The aqua area is the area of alteration for the proposed home to be constructed in. And then the orange hatch is really where the wetland replication area is. We're around 2,900 square feet of alteration. I think it's 2,957 of alteration, and we're proposing a 1-to-1 replication area. So that's really our presentation to you this evening, Madam Chair, and members of the commission. We'd be more than happy to answer any questions you have about this application, Madam Chair.
Okay, thank you so much, Brian.
You're welcome.
And Tracy. So Caitlin, do you want to speak first on anything regarding this application?
I
can-
think,
Okay,
can you
go
hear
ahead.
me?
Yes, I can hear you. I was just gonna
Okay.
say, I can go to Eileen or Mark if you were thinking first.
Okay, that's fine.
Eileen, what are your thoughts?
Well, I don't, so you're trying to get 2 lots besides the house, correct?
No, that's not correct. So all we're doing is creating, well, we're not creating any new lots. We already have an existing lot, lot 25. So instead of just building on lot 25 and having everything on one lot with a lot in the back, that triangle lot 74, if we take that lot 74 and add part of it to lot 24 and part of it to lot 25, both lots move closer to the zoning board rules and regulations in regards to lot area. So we're increasing the lot area for 2 of the existing lots and trying to show that we want to construct 1 house on lot 25, which is the plan that you see in front of you, which if you can hide, if you want to put your mouse on the house. So the existing house is on lot 24, which
Yeah.
is right there.
Yeah.
And our notice of intent is for the construction of the new house on lot 25.
And you're gonna be working in the 25 foot?
Yes.
What do you think, Caitlin?
I mean, can I just say, I think that for one, we're gonna have to do a site visit. That's my first thought on this. And I think going into the 25-foot, that's why they're doing the replication. And yeah, I think I need a little bit more information with the replication piece of it for myself.
Okay, what information do you need, Madam Chair?
I'm just, so I guess the replication is, part of it is in that triangled area where there's no building, right? Like you can't build in there because it's
That
all
is correct,
wetland.
yeah.
So you're replicating wetland in a wetland. That's what it
No,
looks like.
we're replicating the wetland in the upland area, part on lot 25 and part on lot 74. But with the Form A plan and carving out the lots like we've shown now,
Mhm.
the alteration is on lot 25 and the replication would be technically on lot 25. So it's contiguous on the same lot and the same wetland line.
Okay.
And like I said, we're trying to do a 1-to-1 replication. So if we're altering 2957, we're replicating that same.
1-to-1, you said.
Yes.
Yep.
And then part of that wetland replication, Madam Chair, members of the commission, is, thank you, is a detailed wetland replication plan with non-invasive species, plantings that are associated with the wetland area. We have a New England plant and seeding mix that goes along with this that will help restore and help the wetland area grow over the years.
Yeah, that part of it, that sounds good. And you said that the line, where did I write my notes here? The line was done by environmental consultants in 2024, so it's an active line and there's flags out there?
That is correct.
Okay.
And then also with this wetland replication plan, some of these bushes are berry producing bushes that help with the critters and the animals that are in this area to help with them as they go back and forth through this area to help with the food source to these animals.
Mm-hmm. And what part, well, I mean, that is in the house is in the 25 to 50, and then the piece that's inside, what is that? What part of the house is in that the 25 foot?
Part of the bulkhead and part of the proposed deck. And a little bit of the building.
Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Caitlin?
Yeah, I think, getting out there with some members who are available will be
Mhm.
good, to look at the line. And, just get the lay of the land to get some more information.
Mm-hmm.
Is this
Yeah.
the property with the fence and the garage next to it? That we did in September, or is this actually that property?
No, I don't think it's the same property.
Across the street.
Let's cross the street. Oh, okay, good. Oh, geez, because that's got a big, huge, like pond on it. So it's the other side. I think we're gonna need to get our eyes on it, yeah.
Mark, any thoughts?
I'm not gonna even pretend to know where to start on this. It seems like a lot of things, a lot of moving parts. Not moving parts in a bad way, but just a lot of things need to change. I actually do think we should get a consultant to help us navigate where we should begin, because it seems like it needs the zoning changes first, but the zoning changes would like to see some of the planning board changes and the conservation commission changes before they want to do anything. So I don't know where to begin. So I'm not going to pretend. I like the idea of all the plants that you're adding.
Thank you very much. Well,
Mhm.
the reason why we started with the Conservation Commission is because we know that, we're asking for some waivers here. But I think that, starting here is probably the best spot. And then we know that we can go to the zoning board and to the planning board for the Form A afterwards. But I think that we were trying to be respectful to, the environment first and get an understanding of where the commission sits on, kind of redoing the due of the fathers of the commission, where they had granted this once before, and then come up with a new plan and get your feedback and get an order of conditions with some conditions to allow the construction of the single family home and the septic system. Because it is technically a grandfathered lot, and it has been a buildable lot since its creation. So we're trying to do the best we can to meet the Board of Health rules and regulations on siting a septic system with all the setbacks, put a single family home on the lot, and then also understanding, yes, we have some work in these buffer zones and we're altering some wetlands, but we know that the Wetland Protection Act allows the commission, and the commission may issue an order of conditions with the alteration up to 5,000 square feet of alteration. per lot. But we're not asking for 5,000 square feet. We're only asking for 2,957. And as the member of the commission, Mark, said, he does like the plants. I mean, so we've gone to great detail to understand what type of plants we need to put in there, along with the New England wetland seed planting mix
Mhm.
that will go into that area as well. And also providing some mitigation for that alteration with these plants that would be berry producing for the critters and animals in this area, Madam Chair.
Mhm. I know, I mean, I also do like the thought that's gone into the replication part of it. I honestly, like, I need to look in my books and read up on replication stuff, because my initial thing is, oh my gosh, like they're building, part of this house is like inside the 25 foot, like, and we have a 25 no touch, so I'm a little, and I don't have, Marilyn's not here, Harry's not here. So one, I need to do just my own research on it before I'm able to really feel like I'm comfortable saying anything about it.
Yeah,
And I think that we need to get out and look at it.
And Madam Chair, this is my first time in front of you guys in a long time. And as I said, I made a phone call to Caitlin. We have a great rapport with many, many boards and many, many commissions throughout New England. We do this quite a lot. We understand the rules and regulations, and I'd put it out to anyone on this commission. If you've got questions, pick up the phone and call me or call Tracy, and we'd be more than happy to get you the resources or answer any questions you have outside of the meeting,
Okay.
but not with 3 people on the call.
Got it. Okay, what about conservation people? Eileen, Mark, any other thoughts that you want to share before I have to open to the public also for questions?
I would just open it to the public right now. We need to get out there.
Okay, all right. Is there anyone on, any abutters on? Oh, you know what I didn't do? I didn't read the, oh my. I didn't read you sent the,
The legal.
oh, yeah. I'm
Do you
sorry.
have it on you, Wendy, or do you want me to pull it up?
I'm looking, where
We
are
actually
we?
have it in a slide. If you'd like, we can go to that slide.
Oh, sure, that would be terrific, and then I'll read it from it.
Okay. And then a little bit of housekeeping too is the green cards.
Excellent, very good. All right, I love it.
So
Okay, so public.
because we had to do it after the fact until we knew what the date was going to be. So
Gotcha.
normally we put them in the notice of intent, so you have them as part of your packet.
Yep. Okay, so I'm just backtracking a little bit. We didn't read the public notice. I didn't read the public notice. Forest Street, Bridgewater, legal notice, notice of public hearing, Conservation Commission, Bridgewater, Massachusetts. In accordance with Massachusetts General Laws, Chapter 131, Section 40, and the Town of Bridgewater Local Wetland Bylaw, the Bridgewater Conservation Commission will hold a public hearing on February 13th, 2025, for a notice of intent filed by applicants David and Mary Weber. The applicants propose construction of a 3-bedroom, single-family home with associated grading and utilities. Property is owned by David and Mary Weber, as well as Fabio Braga, and is located on Forest Street, including map 99 and parcels 24, 25, and 74. Please contact the Bridgewater Conservation Office at 508-697-0950 for the time and location or link for virtual participation. All interested parties are encouraged to attend. Agenda may be found at www.bridgewaterma.org at least 48 hours prior to the meeting date. And the abutters cards have been sent. So thank you for that.
You're very well. And
Ryan.
then also as a point of order and housekeeping, we do have a DEP file number. It's 116-1561, Madam Chair, with no comments from the DEP.
1561.
With no
Okay.
comments from the DEP.
Okay, all right, thank you.
You're welcome.
So with that, are there any abutters that have any questions or concerns regarding this project? You can use the raise your hand feature on the Zoom at the bottom, or you can raise your hand and maybe Caitlin will see you and,
Emily.
Yep,
Read
I
that.
see Emily Flaherty's hand up, so why don't you go ahead?
okay, Emily, can you just please state your name and address for the record?
You're still muted, Emily.
Emily Flaherty, 468 Forest Street. And we abut the back of that property that he's just speaking of.
Mhm.
And we're number 79 and 79, if you can see the map. So that's where we're surrounded around that area.
Mhm.
So I just was concerned about drainage and the, how it's gonna affect that property. I'm sure he's put in elevations, but and I also have some information from back in 94. Maybe I can meet with Mr. Dunn at some point and we can go over a few things.
Okay,
Because we were abutting then back in the day in 94 when they tried to build on that property.
originally we're going to,
Mm.
okay.
There was some confusion on ownage, so I just want to make sure we're on the right page.
Oh, okay. Brian, do you want to speak to the drainage with the elevation that's in the back there?
So we are, going to be filling part of this site. And then the roof runoff, we are going to be outletting it. That's clean water. And that would go into, the back end of the slope towards the wetland area, for that drainage. We're not proposing, any, large detention basins or anything like that. Because, a single family home is exempt from the stormwater rules and regulations. So there's no requirement to provide stormwater detention or infiltration or anything like that for a single family home.
Okay, well, it's probably gonna take a while to get everything processed anyway, so maybe my husband and I can talk to you at some point.
Not a problem. Our office is always open. You're more than happy to come over and meet with us.
Okay, great. Thank you.
You're very welcome. Madam Chair, you're
Wendy, you're
muted.
still muted.
Sorry, train went by. Is there anyone else, abutters, that would like to share concern or questions?
I am not seeing anybody, Chair.
Okay. So I guess with that, do we want to make a motion to continue to the next meeting, which is 2/27? And maybe if the snow we get this weekend goes away, the end of the week, next week, we can try to get out there?
Yes, before we continue, Madam Chair, can we set a date for a site meeting as part of this, so that we're not waiting for the next meeting to set a date for an on-site?
I would suggest, I mean, okay, so I work every day, so I can't make it unless it's after 3 o'clock. Marilyn's not on, so I don't know like what her schedule even is. Harry's not on either. He might like to go out that way. So I would suggest calling Caitlin at the office and maybe looking at the end of next week or the beginning of the week after. So when's our next meeting? So we're talking like maybe the 20th, 21st, or the 24th, 25th, maybe weather dependent.
Okay,
That's what I'm kind of thinking. I don't know, like I said, I don't know anybody else's schedule. If it was after 3 and it was a nice day, I would be able to go, but we live in New England and everything changes by the minute, so
okay. Well,
hard
as of, I think, tomorrow or the 15th, it should be light out until about 6 o'clock.
yeah,
almost
it'll be
6 o'clock.
lighter later. So that's a
Yeah.
good thing, yeah.
So
Yay.
I don't know why I have the February 14th date in my mind, but I always remember driving home and saying, oh, it's like almost 6 o'clock on this day that we finally
it's- Still light out.
Yeah, we've almost got a 2 hours back.
Right, right. Yay. Okay, so we'll want to do that. We'll try to kind of aim for one of those dates.
Okay,
All right, and
then
maybe
you-
Caitlin, you can send out like an email, maybe?
Yeah, I can follow up with an email to solidify a date for us to go out
All
there.
right, and who's able to go?
perfect. Okay,
Yeah.
and then you would like to continue this public hearing until when?
2/27.
Okay,
All right, so do I have a motion to continue?
Motion to continue. February what did you say, 27th?
Yes,
yes.
5:30 PM.
thank you,
Second.
thank you. Roll call vote, Eileen,
Aye.
Mark,
Aye.
and myself, aye. All right, Brian, we'll see you back in 2 weeks.
Thank you so much, Madam Chair, and
All
members
right.
of the commission, Caitlin as well. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Thank
Thanks
you.
for your hard work.
Yep. Bye now, thank you.
Bye-bye. All right, back to, so we're on Conservation Commission business. We have administrative items. So we have 2 certificates of compliance. There's a little bit of issue with both of them. So we're gonna go with the certificate of compliance for 36 Bramblewood Street, map 66, lot 86. Applicant representative is Michael Fox, Mary Fox. DEP file is SE 116-1145. Caitlin, I'm gonna let you talk about what's happening with the Bramblewood.
Yeah, so 36 Bramblewood Street, we have a certificate of compliance. In the engineered letter that we have, it states that work was done in compliance except for the fencing and the pool apron were built closer to the BVW than approved by the commission. And we do have Rebecca from Silva Engineering on with us tonight to kind of help us navigate this.
Okay.
I can share my screen and tell a story if you'd like.
All right. Hello, Rebecca.
Hello, how are you?
I'm good, thank you.
Am I ready to share? Can I,
What?
can I push the button?
She's thinking about it.
Oh, I can't push the button. yet.
I guess you can share, Rebecca.
Push the button. All right. 2 stories. Let's start with the one you have in front of you.
Bramblewood?
No, the plan that you should have had in your packet. Which one is, what am I showing? Am I showing the sign plan?
You're showing the plan we have in our packet.
Perfect. All right. This is the plan you have in your packet. And then Caitlin had discussed with me a little bit earlier in the week that perhaps I should put the 25-foot no touch on and tell the story of what happened over here. So let me switch now to a different screen. And I'm gonna let you into the world of my CAD file. All right. So this is the CAD. I was able to add the 25-foot no touch and describe that back when this was built in 2007 or 8, they made some field changes that we weren't aware of. And instead of, adhering to what is now the 25-foot no touch, they went a little bit closer, about a foot closer than what the existing deck was already there. So, the owner, still the same owner, came to us because he's trying to refinance and the bank realized that this is open order from 10+ years ago. He didn't realize at the time that this deviation was gonna cause a hiccup. So my justification is, well, it's not really a whole bunch of area in the 25-foot no touch. It's really about a foot closer than what was already there. And I believe the grass was at the wetland line before. Our existing conditions before showed vegetation all the way back here. So I think what's happening is he's actually not mowing as much as he used to. So I thought maybe the commission would be happy if we just put a sign up somewhere that says, don't do this again, and here's the wetland line. Or we can just say, hey, they made a mistake 10 years ago and look the other way. Those are my options that I thought of.
Oh. Thanks, Rebecca.
I'm sorry,
I know it's not, I mean, you didn't build the pool. Yeah,
No, no,
you
You
know,
didn't put it there.
like
no, we
I'm,
didn't. I
I
can pull
just,
up the design. Let me pull up the design in case that tells something different too.
I
Uh,
just find this so frustrating that, I mean, we saw something before, it went into the 25-foot and they're doing a replication. Or, that's what they're aiming at. Now, and people just go, 25 no touch means 25 no touch. Like, pay attention. You have wetlands in your backyard. You know this.
so let me show
Don't
the,
know why people don't pay attention to it. It's frustrating.
I'm gonna show the original design plan right here. Right here, right? And, and it is frustrating, but again, we didn't actually, we didn't police it as much as we used to. Honestly, it probably wasn't a big deal 10 years ago, where it is now, where it's very concerning that nothing's being followed. But we can see where it was designed originally, we adhered to the 25-foot no touch. The deck existed, the lawn existed, and I think that's what's helpful in this case. The lawn, I guess, was let go a little bit it vegetated over enough where I feel like we kind of did a give and take.
Mm-hmm.
But when the contractor's out there doing the work, he must have squared it up because it was easier than doing a curved wall, and it happens. We should have back then as a minor modification and something would have changed.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe we would have put up a sign, maybe, you know, I don't know where you want to be, I'll be honest.
Okay. Caitlin, thoughts?
Well, I mean, the original plan Rebecca just shared, the deck was already within the 25-foot.
Yeah, because it was
However,
old.
I do recognize, they went over where they shouldn't have. With it being about a foot over, I'm going back and forth in my mind with this one.
Eileen, have you ever?
Well, it's pretty old. There isn't much we can do about it.
Right.
That's true.
Oh, I mean, unfortunately, I don't think we should have anybody digging anything up.
Yeah, because that's just going to do more disturbance, right?
So, but that's why I volunteered to sign. If we just put a little post with a sign and maybe, educate the future generation that,
Yeah,
Yeah.
especially if they're looking, what are they refinancing or they're selling?
yep, they're just looking for financing for some improvements. I don't think there's a
Oh,
sale
okay.
that I know of.
Yeah, I mean, maybe a sign might be a good idea so
What-
that they're aware of the edge. They
Isn't
can,
there something we do with the green PVC pipes?
That's what I'm referring to.
yeah. Okay.
I'm not saying we do it. I'm just saying that instead of a sign. If
Yeah, I mean, it could be either one, but a sign,
The little signs tell a better story if you, conservation markers.
because if they were to sell the house in 5 years and somebody bought it and they saw PVC pipes in the back, they might not have any idea what that's for. I like the idea of a sign better. I don't, I mean, we can issue the COC, I suppose, if the Conservation Commission is all right with that. I don't know how we move forward with the sign, Caitlin. I don't know. Like, we don't have any in the office, so I don't know how they get made and
Yeah,
like,
there's some
Okay.
companies I can look into. I was wondering the same thing because we don't have any signs in the office. However, I just took a fundamentals class for the MACC and someone
Mhm.
had mentioned a company. So I wrote that company down so I can look into ordering those signs so we can get one out there. If
Okay,
That's what we decide to do.
all right. All right, that sounds like a plan. Thanks, Rebecca, for sharing the
Yes, I will
plans.
stop sharing so we can see each other and
Okay.
discuss.
All right, so, conservation, do we have a motion to issue? I mean, I don't know if we have to write anything in. I don't know how that goes. So many new things for me tonight.
I know, same here one day. I'm right there with you. We're navigating it together.
Yep.
So normally I would say, I would recommend or come up with the suggestion that you hold on to you vote. And then you hold on to the documentation until the sign's in place, but considering there's a time constraint. We may have to just take a leap of faith, and I'll hound you guys until you get me a sign and I'll go bang it in. I can send you a letter saying it got done.
If they don't do what we say, could we issue a cease and desist at some point?
That might be a little too far. I can do the scout honor.
Well, what do you mean, Mark, if they don't do what they,
Well, if we're concerned that they're not going to actually do the thing that they
Put the
say
sign
they'll
up.
do, like put signs up or whatever, or not, or discontinue the mowing habit.
Well, the sign's very easily removed even for mowing and stuff, so it's really gonna be an honor system no matter how you look at it.
Mhm.
I
Okay.
mean, I don't think a cease and desist is gonna, it's not gonna warrant that unless they stop, pouring concrete beside it or whatever. So I guess I'll make a motion.
Thanks.
Issue a certificate of compliance on 36 Bramblewood Street, and the special condition being that we give them a sign, and maybe you get a picture of it, Rebecca, for the file?
You bet. We can do that.
Just one sign? Is that what?
I envisioned it at the 17-foot mark. If anybody envisioned something different,
Well, I
I
mean,
don't-
if it's just one sign, they won't necessarily know where it leads to, right? You'd only have one sign.
Well, you only have that one 8-foot spot, right?
Well, let me pull the screen back up. Let's agree to what we're doing here. Pull this one back up.
Mark.
Oop. Okay. I envisioned one right here. Oops. And if we're looking for a second one or a third one, where are we?
Maybe in the middle, between 4 and 5.
4 and 5? Well, dare I suggest okay, somewhere in here?
And then maybe the 5, WH.
Well, Walter likes.
That looks like the property line. Is that the property line?
Yeah, between 5 and 6?
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah,
So the-
something like that.
so 3.
Yeah. I mean,
Me-
that sounds good. And okay, maybe they didn't know what
No.
that the contractors were going beyond the line, but they really need to pay attention to it. So now it's there, and that's what happens when people are allowed to do things that they should pay attention
Yes.
to.
Did they file when they put the pool in?
Did they what when they did the pool? I'm sorry?
File with conservation?
Yes, we had the notice of intent. That's why we're closing out of it.
So they,
But the other one was inside. The contractor went outside the line.
Right, they built it differently than the plan. The plan showed it following along the 25-foot no touch. The
yeah,
construction changes happened at the time that led to where we are.
got it.
Yep.
So
Okay.
some,
All right. So Eileen made the motion to issue. Mark, do you want a second?
Second.
Thanks. Roll call vote. Eileen,
I,
Mark,
Aye.
and myself, Wendy. Aye. All right. Thank you, Rebecca. So we'll work on getting the signs. Caitlin will be in touch and
Absolutely.
figure it out.
Thank you.
All right, excellent.
Um,
Next up, we have another certificate of compliance. It's 53 Morris Street, map 22, lot 15. Applicant representative is A American Investments LLC. DP files SE 116 1526.
All right, and Rebecca is staying with this one. with
I
us on this one.
am, let me. Okay.
Yeah, so, and I know this one, so, there is concern, right? I'll just read you what, sort of what Marilyn's concern was. My understanding is the OOC gives them the right to work in the 100-foot, however, it was not approved for removal of a garage. The OOC approves the plan presented to BCC at the time for the work they are seeking to get approved. I don't know, did they have a notice for a minor modification? I don't know. So
Okay.
you, yeah,
So again, Caitlin was kind enough to call me and talk to me and discuss this. So
Mhm.
before we go into discussion, here is the as-built in front of you. I'm gonna switch my screen so I look at you. They built the house pretty much as planned. The deck was a little bit wonky. They didn't really follow the plan for the deck. And so the question that came up was this missing piece right here. So let me go back to the NOI plan. This is the NOI plan. This is not the zoning board plan. Okay, so this was,
an existing garage?
it was existing and it says to raise the garage. So is this not the plan we had? Wait a
What are
minute,
we
wait.
at?
Wait a
53
minute.
Morris?
Oh, we had a change. We had a change. Showing the wrong stuff. All right, this is the NOI plan. We were going to keep the garage at the time.
Mhm.
Okay, the garage was in rough shape. It was so dilapidated, it wasn't worth keeping. And so the garage was removed. And I think when we went there last, I don't think I could even tell you if the slab stayed. I think the slab stayed, and it was just the structure itself. But I can't verify that. Hang on. Pictures, pictures, pictures.
So I think was the issue, that
Okay.
they
Yeah.
took it down and
We
we
never
didn't
came,
know about it, right? And it was close to the 25 foot and,
was-
you know, there was
was.
maybe no silt fence, no hay bales, no,
no, they had silt fence and hay bale. There was
oh, they
erosion
did?
control around it. Yep, that's what this little knockout is.
Uh-huh.
So the erosion control was up. It wasn't in
Oh,
the
okay.
25-foot no touch.
Yeah,
It was done without a minor adjustment to the approval. But in the end, it was an improvement if it was a safety issue.
sure.
And again, I wish I could tell you that the slab was still there. But the pictures of the as-built has snow on the ground.
Okay.
So
Well, and they didn't build anything else.
no, there's nothing there.
They're not gonna build anything on top of it, so.
No, it will be removed. The impervious surfaces are no more.
Yep.
I hope.
Okay. Eileen or Mark, any comments?
No, I mean,
Normally, these are really very simple, but
yeah, this is, what are you gonna do?
yep,
Again,
He didn't build a new garage, so he just removed some garage.
right.
Yeah. So it's,
And the erosion control was in place.
All right, that's good.
yeah, I mean,
Okay, so do we have, are we
Yeah.
good and we want to issue?
yes, I will make a motion to issue a certificate of compliance for 53 Morris Ave.
A second.
Thank you. Roll call vote. Eileen,
Aye.
Mark,
Aye.
and myself, Wendy, aye. All
Thank-
right. Thanks, Rebecca.
Thank you, thank you.
All righty. Okay, next up, we have Lakeshore Cease and Desist Enforcement Order Update. Caitlin?
Yes, I will take that away. So, not much of an update on that, other than, at the last meeting, I had discussed that we were gonna send the enforcement order out, so I'm just giving an update that that was sent out certified mail.
Okay,
So, you know, we had told them to come back in March with the vegetated management plan.
vegetative management
Yep.
plan. Okay,
So that's really all there is to that, is just updating that that was sent out.
okay, great. 1157 Pleasant Street Cease and Desist Update. My understanding is that it's looking clear and they've done what they needed to.
Yeah, that was resolved. So I had mentioned at the last meeting, I sent a cease and desist out
Mhm.
to the owners because there was stockpiling in the 100-foot buffer of the vernal pool
Vernal pool.
on the fire station property.
Mhm, mhm.
So the owner had called me on January 27th, said that the materials were moved. So I said, okay, you know, so I went to the site that day to check, and everything was removed as they said. So that was resolved.
Okay, great. Anybody have any questions about that? Eileen or Mark?
No,
Okay. Next up is 1453 Plymouth Street. It's BRS discussion. There's some fill going on down there in the wetlands.
Yeah, so I received a call last week from a resident who was concerned with 1453 Plymouth Street. They said that there was filling of wetlands and they mentioned an encroachment onto other property. So I said, you know, I'm happy to look into it. So I did. I looked at some aerials on Nearmap. And there are 2 spots that's, you know, open water space that it's filled in.
Oh,
So it's pretty significant what they filled in on the property. So along with that, the encroachment issue, I addressed with the water department because it's 1719 Plymouth Street, I believe is the address, and that's owned by the water department. And the BRS has some materials stockpiled that's encroaching on their property. So I'd reach out to the water department just to say, hey, you know, I found this information. You own the property, so however you want to handle that, I just wanted to pass along that information. However, on our end, there are wetlands on that parcel that they're encroaching on, and the stockpiling is within 100 feet of the wetlands on 1719 Plymouth. So along with the filling of the wetlands on 1453 Plymouth itself, there's also some stockpiling going on the parcel behind it that they're encroaching on that is within the buffer of wetlands on that property.
okay.
So I just wanted to bring that to the commission's attention, and see, you know, get your thoughts, on how.
So where do we go from here? Like what happens? Do they get a fine? Do they
So,
get involved? It filled in water.
right, so because this is obviously a violation, I have sent out an enforcement order that went out on Monday this week.
Okay.
Certified mail.
Yep.
Yep,
So you're still waiting to hear on that?
yes.
Okay. So I guess we should probably have this back on for the next meeting for discussion.
Yes.
That would be-
Yeah. Okay. Sounds good. And I guess we'll see what happens in the meantime, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, there definitely needs to
Cease
be
and
a-
desist kind of enforcement, like. knock it
Yes,
off?
so there's options in the enforcement order, so all work ceases. I checked the boxes. I didn't do, you know, option of doing an NOI, but more, you know, the restoration side of things, you know, how are we
Yep.
gonna restore this?
Yeah.
What's that, Eileen?
No, I agree with that. I mean,
Gotcha. Yeah, so I mean,
what they
we can
said.
kind of talk about, I'm not sure, you know, if they can replicate wetlands somewhere else with what they filled in.
That's
and, you
probably, yeah, they'll probably have to do something like that.
Yeah.
I'm sure they
um,
do. I mean, they were very upstanding business in the community.
Yeah,
Mm.
They've been around for 30 plus years.
You would just think that they would know not to fill in water when
Yeah.
there's
He's
wetlands.
probably got a bunch of truck drivers coming in and out. I mean, my guess is he probably didn't realize. I mean, you never know, but
Yeah, I
I'm
know.
very surprised.
Yeah,
But
all right. So we'll see, we'll discuss it, put it on for the next one.
Right.
All right, how about 0 Bedford map 112 lot 9 enforcement order update?
yes, so I went out to 0 Bedford with Mass DEP and the owner of the site last Wednesday, to kind of talk about what's been going on in the site. So the owner was present and we had a discussion. You know, obviously Phil was brought in. There's piles of wood chips which need to be removed. However, why DEP is out there with me, as I discussed, the soil was tested and there are elevated concentrations of lead. So, you know, as the soil needs to be moved off the site, you know, that needs to be worked out with DEP, because with the elevated concentrations of lead, a whole
Can't be
procedure
disturbing
follows
it.
that, you know,
Yeah.
if you have these high concentrations, you know, that has to go to a landfill that will accept the soil with those concentrations. So that's a whole process. So, I instructed, everything you brought on, Phil, wood chips needs to be brought off, but, DEP's involved with the soil aspect of it. They did indicate to me that they're gonna resample it because when we sampled the soil, we had very distinct piles. And so the one stockpile that did have the lead in it, everything kind of got mushed together after that. So, at this point, where's the soil with the concentrations of lead? We don't know because it all got mixed together. So they're gonna resample it and make sure everything's correct. And then, the procedures that follow, they'll take care of that with the owner. And I did ask for the owner to be on tonight. Is the owner on with us to speak on this matter?
Caitlin, who do you have as the owner of that property?
Abel Mora.
Okay. So didn't they say that they didn't own it?
So Abel Mora was there. He owns the parcel right now. Another gentleman was there,
Okay.
which I believe he's trying to push the papers over to this gentleman.
Yeah.
However, that hasn't happened, so Abel Mora is the owner of the property.
Okay. All right.
So he is responsible. So I had asked him, can you please show up to the meeting to discuss with the commission? Because obviously, trees were cut down as well, besides the dumping of the fill and the wood chips. So a plan of restoration also needs to be put in place. So
Okay.
I'm hoping he's on tonight with us.
Yeah, I don't think he has any in, we've asked him a couple times and he just doesn't seem to have any interest in coming. Which also needs to be addressed.
Yes.
All right,
And
so
I
if-
did send an email to him with our agenda. Here.
Well, if you don't see him on, do we want to move on and we're just gonna keep updated on what's happening?
Well,
with
okay, so Mark, you're saying he's the 508 number, you think?
Yeah, it's me. It's Abel.
Hi, Abel.
Hi, Abel, can you
Hi,
just
how are
give
you,
your
Ray?
name and address for the record, please?
Yeah, my name is Abel Mora. My address 2527 Alexander Street, Framingham, Massachusetts 01702.
All right, thank you. And so what do we want Abel to share, or does he understand everything that's happening, Caitlin? Like what should?
Yeah, so as we discussed. Go ahead,
Okay,
Abel.
go ahead. I'm sorry. Yeah, we have my part. He's on the line. His name is Michael Michelle. If you can unmute his phone number too.
Let's see here. I'm not seeing another phone number in my list here.
His phone number is 781-882-0912.
Gotcha. Yeah, that's not popping up on my list of participants here.
Oh, they are not on there.
I only see your phone number.
Okay. Okay, so let me go ahead by myself right here. Thank you. Okay, so I just want to tell something like I bought this property from the Bridgewater and sold this property to Michelle for his company. He's a business guy. They have like a business property, like a rent car.
Mhm.
And so when I sell this property to them, I do like they can pay me like in 24 months. And they start to clean up and prepare this land with any authorized from my part. And I received this letter from the Bridgewater last December 23rd. And when I talked to them about this property, when I decided to sell this property, and I told them they have to order survey and prepare a project together with the engineer and the architect or to move forward with the project. But they're supposed to do this after they pay me in full. And after they pay me in full, I can give them the deed, the record deed at the city.
Mhm.
And now we have to start the process in the right way together with the city. And Kathleen can help us to do the best way to recommend them what's the next step to they can go through to start to clean up. And on this lot, I think on the left side, they have a small building, commercial building, and the warehouse on number 1274. And I think they can try to work with the project to see if they can build a store in the area for a car rental store. That's when the inspector asked me what they plan to building. Inspector James. So they think if they can build like a car rental store, that'd be great. So what do you think? What should be the next step for us to move forward with this project? If you guys can try to let me help, and that'd be great.
So Caitlin, you can speak to this, but like there can't be any, Abel, there can't be any, they can't build, they can't cut down trees, they can't do any digging, dropping, nothing, right? So it's wetland area in the back there. So it's whatever plans are done. I mean, besides whatever planning board, zoning board, whatever for Bridgewater, it's gonna have to come before us
Exactly.
also. So they can't do
Correct.
anything.
Yeah, that's
until-
what I told them before. Before they start to do anything, they have to go to the city and follow the rules
Right.
step by step.
No.
But I think they started out
So-
the wrong way. So
So unfortunately, because it's still, the property is still in your name, right? You're the one that is gonna get the,
he's back.
yes. Right,
Yeah.
so you'll just work with
Yeah.
Caitlin and with the Department of Environmental Protection and you'll get it figured out and then you'll be able to sell and he'll have to do the right things when you do sell it.
Okay.
Okay, Caitlin?
So I can call Kathleen tomorrow at the city and make a schedule date to we can stop together with those guys.
Yeah,
To see
I'd be happy to
what
have
the
a
next step
call
we can
go.
do it.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep, that sounds good.
That'd be great.
Okay, she's in the
Sounds good.
office
Thank
Monday,
you
Wednesday,
very much,
Friday,
Kathleen.
so yes, you wanna try to get in touch with her like on Monday, Wednesday, or Friday. Oh, did he
Yeah.
just? Okay,
I try to be there one day next week. Thank you very much.
all right, thank you so much, Abel, for coming
Thank
on.
you. Thank you. Bye bye.
Bye-bye.
Take care.
All right, so we'll move on. So you'll be in touch with him. DEP is involved still with the soil levels.
Yeah, they're gonna
You
have
know,
to.
that'll get
um,
all, we'll still keep it on until we have clarity on what's happening.
Yes.
The open meeting law complaint, do you wanna start that?
Yeah,
Go
I
ahead.
can summarize that. I just asked that Mark please recuse himself for this item. So, we have an open meeting law violation complaint that was filed on January 28th, 2025. Date of alleged violation is January 9th, 2025. And basically the complaint pertains to, you know, lack of summary in the minutes for the June 13th, 2024 meeting minutes regarding 180 Broad Street. And those minutes were approved January 9th, 2025, hence the alleged violation date. So, you know, I will pass that over to commission members to, you know, get your opinion on the open meeting law violation and how you'd like to proceed.
Okay. I don't honestly feel like it is a violation, right? It's just They're minutes, it's a summary, detail of any discussion that we had in the meeting is online on YouTube. We never have posted like all the discussion points that have been talked about, just an overall in general, because they can be listened to. So I feel like they're really, I don't know, what would you say? There isn't, I mean, the complaint is there, but is there a violation? I don't feel like there's a violation.
Neither do I. I think it's a lot of wasting the commission's time because we do have the entire meeting online on YouTube for anybody to look at from the day after on. It makes no sense to continue to do this. When minutes of the meeting are basically just the highlights, not the in-depth, every word by word, blow by blow description. The fact that we do have that YouTube.
It's a blessing that we have it.
Agreed.
Oh, we'd have pages of minutes.
Correct.
Hmm.
So, I don't know how to, prevent this from happening, but in my opinion, there's no violation.
Okay, Caitlin, so as far as proceeding, on your end, in the office end of it,
Yep, so we can reach out to the open meeting law officials, stating that, commissioners feel there's no violation, based on, minutes being a summary of what was discussed, not, a transcript of the meetings, if you will.
Mhm.
And that, recordings are on YouTube. There's always that,
Right.
caveat, like, if you want a word by word, it's available to everybody on YouTube.
Okay, all right, thank you. Next up, we have Zero Lakeshore Center on-site meeting with Mass DEP was today at 10 o'clock. Caitlin, do you want to just give a summary of what that was about?
Yeah, so I just wanted to put that on our agenda, because I had posted that, as a site visit. So that took place today with DEP, so our applicant was there. Myself and Member Peterson was there, on behalf of the Conservation Commission. And the, representative of the folks that appealed the orders were there. And so, we just had a brief discussion before we did a site walk. The applicant gave their piece, the appealers representative gave their piece, and I gave our piece on the conservation side of things. And we did a site walk with DEP just so they could get a lay of the land, since they are, now it's kind of in their hands with the superseding orders. And, DEP will be in touch. I said, with any questions that you have, I'm happy to answer them, and commission members as well. So yeah, I will, keep everyone
Wait
in
to
the
hear
loop.
from them.
Yep, yep.
Okay,
Well,
right.
great.
I mean, we'll see what they say, right?
Yep. That's all we
Okay.
can do.
And the minutes, that we have, to accept, or, I don't even know, accept or deny, I don't know. I did get a chance to see both the 9th and the 23rd, so I know Marilyn did also. She didn't have any issues, but she's not here to vote.
Right.
Eileen, did you get a chance to?
No, I did not. I didn't have time. Sorry. You'll have to go to the.
All right, and Mark, did you get a chance to look at the minutes? Well,
Do we even need minutes? It did look like there was a summary of every discussion for each item, which was good, but I didn't read them fully.
okay.
Okay.
Well, I mean, I don't know how we're supposed to vote, like to accept them.
On for the next.
Okay,
Can't accept.
we were gonna try to get them off for this week, but we'll do them for next week then, and everybody will get a chance to just look at them, and we will put them on again for next week then.
Sounds good.
Caitlin, I don't know if you wrote down those dates that I said for the Forest Street visit. The
I
20th,
did, yes.
21st, 24th, and 25th, like any
Yep.
one of those days probably would be. I think it was I don't even know what they were. Wednesday and Thursday, or Thursday and Friday, and a Monday and Tuesday or something. I don't know.
Gotcha. Yeah, I have the dates. I just didn't look at
Okay.
the
And we'll
dates.
just try to pay attention to weather and see what's what.
Yeah. Yeah, we'll
Okay.
work something out with them.
Try to get down there to take a peek. And then that the other man there might be in touch with you about the flags and the new plans
For
for
South Street, yeah.
South Street.
Yeah, so you know, I'm sure Scott said he would send the updated plans with the flags that we discussed tonight. I think he said Tuesday of next week. So
Yeah, and then just reach out. I mean, if there's any of us that can take a walk, you know, like on Wednesday or something when you're in the office, then, you know, we'll try to do that.
yep.
Okay?
Yeah, I think the problem was availability wasn't great until Monday, and then obviously the snow. So that's kind of
Yep,
kind
yeah.
of what the issue was.
yep.
Right. Yep.
Okay. And it'd be really good if Marilyn was, you know, if she was able to go, because I know, I mean, maybe it would make her feel a little more comfortable, so,
I think
Yeah.
she needs to go.
yep. Okay, so with that, we have completed the agenda, so do we have a motion to adjourn?
Motion to adjourn.
Excellent,
Second.
thank you. And with that, thank you all and have a good night.
Good night, everybody.
We'll see you the next time.
Bye.
All right, thanks.
And
Bye,
then
Bye.
Caitlin.